Well, I was shit at school, guys. Like, we all look like we did pretty bad in school here. We want to be a global chocolate empire and a brand that's actually relevant to everyone. We sold close to 50 million chocolate bars, and I never believed that we'd even sell $1 million. Awesome. I never thought in my life that we'd sell, 1,000 chocolate bars. But when I'm on the road and I got to give a speech to 1,000 people and then go give a class at university and then go give 38 meetings in Orlando, I promise you I'm giving 150%. But then eventually your body just takes a beating, bro. I burnt out last year. I burnt out the year before, a smaller burnout. Your love is more important than your business. At the end of the day, your relationships in life with the people that matter to you are way more important than whatever happens with this. Because at the end of the day, this is technically still, it's a business. We call it the road to 100 million.
Yep.
Get there.
So now you're at 30?
30 or so million.
Here's to the bold thinkers, the risk takers, and the creators who dare to see beyond the ordinary.
The ones who challenge a rule, who aren't afraid of the unknown, and who know that greatness is born from taking risk. While others may question their path, they move toward what's next.
Skating to where the puck will be, not where it was. They don't let the no's or the not yets hold them back.
Because those who are bold enough to believe they can change the world are the one who do.
Welcome to the Purple Cow Podcast, where we celebrate the ones who make their mark on the world.
So we're all set? I'm set. I'm ready, baby. Let's go.
Right, thanks for coming on the Purple Cow Podcast for
Let's
us.
go, baby. Let's go.
That's awesome. When you said yes, I was jumping in my room. I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, dude, that's the type of behavior we want. You know, at the end of the day, like, when I started 11 years ago as an entrepreneur, it's been 11 years, not Midday Squares, but I had 2 other businesses prior. Honestly, I would just message people, and anyone that answered, it fired me up. And I realized, like, you know, I've been on this journey for 11 years, so I've learned a lot of shit. I'm no expert, trust me. But if I could be part of things that people are just starting, that's a huge win. You know, at the end of the day, like, we're all trying to help each other here. And, and I'm actually, so cool, I'm fired up that you guys came all the way. We're in Montreal. But 10-minute drive, whatever. But I'm happy you guys came to Midday Squares' HQ to do this interview, and I'm excited to be here, boys.
Yeah. That's what I'm starting to realize. Like, the entrepreneur community is really helpful. Like, I've talked with Mike Fata and
legend
and Aaron. So Aaron, who I got a couple of feedback with him, and Mike said, later start a podcast rolling. So it's pretty nice. I get feedback, and
once you tell them I'm on, they're gonna be like, shit, he got first. You know? No, but honestly, dude, your hair is wild. Like, show the camera, the camera your mullet. It's like
I do this.
This guy, do you play hockey?
No.
Oh my God, he's like Jaromir Jagr. You ever see that guy?
He's awesome. You don't know Jaromir Jagr? He's like,
dude, what planet do you live on?
Yeah,
Saint-Cécile-de-Milton.
Yeah, he's come from Saint-Cécile.
I once played hockey in St.
Chicken cow.
Oh yeah, you guys have chicken cow. But they actually have a team, Ligue Nord-Amérique or something. They have something there called St. Hyacint's team, and I used to play hockey there, and it was fucking crazy. Cold as shit. C'était froid, tabarnak.
Awesome, man.
You were talking about the mullet last time. He cut his own hair. He cut one side and his clipper died.
So he ran to a barber.
To cut the other
Sunday. During a Sunday, I don't have any barber in Montreal.
I'll give you a barber. I know some good barbers.
So I was like, Sunday, where can I find a barber?
I was in Granby.
Oh yeah, it's all closed. It's all closed.
Yeah, and I was in Granby. He's like, do you know a barber? I'm like, no, I don't know a barber. My mom cut my hair. So what do you do, man? He's like, yeah, my hair is cut.
Oh my God.
But dude, it looks fresh.
Yeah.
So you look good.
Thank you.
That's all that matters. You look good, feel good. We're ready to go. It's 2025. Like,
yeah, man.
This is the year of momentum. This is the year that we start winning, all of us. Because I just feel like, you know, the last couple of years, man, it's been like there's like a lot of like negativity. There was supply chain crises, there was COVID, there was all these things. And I think people are just ready to just go out and just like
have fun.
Charge like gladiator, you know?
What's your goal for 2025?
I have a lot of goals. So I think that I don't like the idea of New Year's resolutions. I think people say New Year's resolutions. For me,
it's good for Instagram.
Yeah, it's good for No, you know, for me, I think that, you know, I spent time with my wife's family in Dominican Republic last week, and we had a great time, and we had some deep conversations, and we talked about like what we wanted in the year. What do we want to get done? And I think one thing is I want to be fluent in French. So this is more of a personal goal. It's less business focused, but it's the idea that I want to be able to not just understand French perfectly, but be able to go on a TV or a podcast or an interview and the person be like, wow, this person is French, not English, right? So that's number one. Number two, I want to become proficient in video editing. So I want to be able to be independent and video edit myself. And then from a business standpoint for Midday Squares, we're launching one of our biggest retailers this week, and we want to dominate that. And I want to help Midday Squares raise about $20 million this year of capital.
Nice.
That's no small feat, but that's my job. So I'm going to get that done. And then I just have some other wellness goals. So health and wellness of like sleeping 8 hours per night minimum, because I'm a degenerate. I used to sleep 3-4 hours and think that I'm a hero because I'm sleeping 3-4 hours. You need sleep. Your body needs to regenerate. I know the whole hustle culture shit, and I used to believe in that. But then eventually your body just takes a beating, bro. I burnt out last year. I burnt out the year before, a smaller burnout. I realized that sleep is critical to your brain fog, to your ability to just have energy.
Yep.
And so I want to have that. I want to move every day. I want to start working out, playing sports again. And I think that the word of the year of 2025 for me is just is have fun and protect energy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And would you say like you have a pretty packed schedule, I assume, but how do you say like
Dis en français, ouais.
Hein?
Dis en français.
Ton horaire chargé?
Yeah, so I think my job is very unique. So for those of you who don't know me, I founded one of the co-founders of Midday Squares, which is a chocolate company. I know you guys know that, but we're trying to build the new version of what Hershey's would be if it started today. So like basically better for you chocolate snacks that have protein, fiber, and a brand that's actually relevant to everyone. And my job is to just make friends. So I go out there every day and I build our network. I call it a rainmaker. So basically I literally go out every day. I travel the world. I go on stages. I go on TV. I go on interviews. I go meet people just to build our network.
Living the dream?
Living the dream, but it's also tiring. But I go out there every day to just make as much noise as possible, to gather people to that they want to be part of our organization. And I don't have any responsibilities with the manufacturing. I don't have any responsibilities with innovation. I don't have any responsibilities with anything to do with the operation of this.
Yeah.
But I have to make sure that Midday Squares has a network that can add value to each one of our departments, whether it be sales, finance, marketing, operations, even new team members, recruits. That's my job. So it takes a lot of providing energy and going out there and making as much fucking noise as possible. And I love it, but at the moments also, if I don't recharge, I hate it because I burn out and you actually feel like depleted.
Yeah.
So my schedule is literally, it's not ready. There's no schedule. So it's like I'm going to Orlando this week and I have 38 meetings in 2.5 days. And think about it.
38 meetings?
Rencontres or whatever you call it, in 2 days. That's how fucked my schedule is when I do my things.
That is back to back, 10 hours a day.
Tabarnak,
No sleep.
There it's no sleep. But the idea is when I come back, I need to recharge.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So I don't really have that much. When I'm in Montreal, I'm not doing that much. Like I'm helping certain things. I'm doing a bit of administration. But when I'm on the road and I got to give a speech to 1,000 people and then go give a class at university and then go give 38 meetings in Orlando, I promise you I'm giving 150%.
That's awesome.
But right now, like you do a lot of stuff. I want to know, like, where did it come from? Like, how did it start? Did you always want to like be an entrepreneur, knowing that you'll have like this much work charge on yourself?
Yeah.
And
we know your story, but tell us more about your story.
About where did it start?
How did it start your entrepreneur journey with the rejection? And
Well, I was shit at school, guys. Like I listen.
I'm feeling you.
Yeah, we all look like we did pretty bad in school here. I'm kidding.
You're getting roast on the bud.
I don't even know you guys.
That's awesome.
No, but it's a compliment.
Yeah, it's the hair, huh?
It's the hair.
It's the town Saint Cecilia Milton.
Listen, it's Saint. I love it. So no, guys. Honestly, in high school, I was the class clown. I was the one that struggled to do well, and in order to fit in, I felt that I needed to make as much noise, become as much of a troublemaker, do as much things that people would find funny. Yeah. And I was actually having fun. It was actually me being authentically myself. So I was being Jake. And then suddenly in grade 11, when you have to graduate at high school in Quebec, my parents were called into the principal's office and told that I was the only one not going to graduate because my grades were so bad. And I looked at her and I looked at my mom. I said, I don't really care. I was like, this is fun because I get to do high school again.
Yeah. And
she looked at me and she's like, no, Jake, you want to move forward. You want to move with society. And that moment I felt like kind of like a loser in quotations because I was like, shit, everyone's going to go in quotations forward in life and I'm going to go backwards. Yeah. And in that moment I said, I'm going to change my entire life. I'm no longer going to be class clown, degenerate, partier, whatever you want to call it. And I decided to study my butt off. And I ended up passing, graduating, went to Marinopolis to study business. And in those moments, all I cared about was studying. All I cared about was fitting in to society. All I cared about was, making sure that, I wasn't taking too much risks, or that I was just part of the average, right? And I felt like that was success in life, because if you were part of average, no one told you anything. They didn't punish you. They didn't look at you and, make fun of you. So I did that for many years. And then finally, when I went to university, I studied to be an actuary. And actuary is one of the hardest programs you could do. And I did it because I wanted to prove to everyone that I'm no longer dumb or no longer the class clown. And it was miserable. I went to Western University, great fun place, one of the best schools in my opinion in Canada. But I had so much fun as a human, but I did so bad academically that I felt a little bit depressed. I felt like, again, I was a failure in society because I wasn't achieving what society wants you to achieve, and do well in school, get a job, have a family, that whole thing. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not the life I wanted. Inside, I knew I had something more in me, and that's when I realized, when I got rejected from 36 different interviews, whether it was insurance companies or investment banks, I didn't even make it past the first interview. I realized that I'm a little different and I can't follow the path that everyone follows. And basically, I was left with no choice. I didn't want to get a job. I didn't want to do a job where, I'm packing boxes. It wasn't what I wanted to do that summer. I wanted to do something else. There's nothing wrong with that job, but I wanted to do something that I was extremely passionate about. And at the time, it wasn't banking, it wasn't insurance, and it wasn't packing boxes at a warehouse. So I was left with no choice but to start a business.
Yeah.
And I loved fitness at the time. And I'll never forget, I watched Shark Tank that day, and I saw this guy pitching his dream, and he was so inspired, he was so energized, he was so happy. But he had so much to lose in life. He had a mortgage on his house, 2 mortgages on his house to pay his business. He could barely put food on the table, but he was so momentous. He was so fired up about life. And in that moment, I said, fuck it. I dropped out of actuarial science in that program. I said, I'm not going to be an investment banker. I'm going to start my business. And it was a fitness company, a boot camp outside. And it was successful. I crushed it. I did it for 2.5 years. I made a lot of cash, a lot of money. I closed that after 2.5 years because I lost passion for fitness. Started a party business where I was throwing parties on college campuses and trying to sell clothing like this, like sweatshirts. Went bust on that, lost a lot of money. I think it was $80,000+ personally. And I felt like a loser. 25 years old, it's time to get a job, because I tried 5 years of entrepreneurship, and, I just failed in a business. I had a little bit of success in the prior business. And then my sister, my brother-in-law looked at me as I was applying to jobs like Snapchat and things like that. And they looked at me and they said, do you want to be the third partner or the third founder in this chocolate bar company we want to create called Midday Squares? And this was in 2018. And I looked at them and I said, why not? Because I was already feeling low at the time. My ex-girlfriend, she broke up with me out of nowhere. After 4 years, I was depressed as shit. I'm grateful for her doing that. She's not a bad person. She's a good person. But her canning me was the catalyst to me joining Midday Squares. And now it's been 6.5 years of building this hopeful new age chocolate empire. And it's been a hell of a fucking ride.
That's awesome. Did you always build your past company with somebody, like a friend or a family member?
So my first business was alone. My fitness business was alone, and I had the time of my life. I felt the freedom. The second business was with a silent investor, and my brother actually was not an operating partner, but an advisor. So my brother's not involved in Midday Squares. He has his own toy company now, but we were involved in that business together. And then Midday Squares with my sister and my brother-in-law. So my first one was alone, and the next two are with actually family. It's lonely to do it alone. So, when you're winning alone, like who are you celebrating with? Like who are you enjoying it with? Like obviously, I was dating someone at the time, so she was kind of celebrating it with me. But when you're with partners along the journey, they're with you in the trenches, the negative, the hardships, the adversity, but they're also in it with you when you're popping the champagne and you're having the time of your life, and it makes you feel a little less lonely. And entrepreneurship is a lonely game. I tell people this all the time. Yes, it's fun to be on Forbes magazine and it's fun to be in the newspapers and get rewarded all these awards and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, most of the time, the odds are stacked against you. Yeah. You're not meant to succeed because when you're creating something new, it's not supposed to work. The data's out there. It shows that most entrepreneurs fail. So it's very hard. And when you're doing it alone, it becomes very lonely and you become misunderstood. People judge you. And I tell people, not having a support system, you will fail without that, because eventually you as a human just feel like you feel the negativity, you want to just give up, because guess what, the pressure's fucking hard, you're in a pressure cooker, and eventually you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore, why should I do it, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's just too hard. So I would advise anyone that is starting a business, look for people, not necessarily family, because working with family is really hard, look for people that complement your skill. So if you're good at social media, and then you're good at finance, and then you're good at operations, that's great. Doesn't matter if you're friends, your family, if you complement each other, then you will create a puzzle that's aligned.
Yeah.
If you're just looking for people that are comfortable around you, you might have issues down the line, because at the end of the day, when you're comfortable with each other, it seems easier, but if you're not going to protect your partnership, guess what? Things blow up very quickly. As soon as money comes in, pressure, legal, there's a lot of things that happen, and if you don't protect your partnership, it's very easy for it to blow up one day and the business just closes. We protect it. We go to therapy every week.
Yeah, I see that. Where I was going there, as you say, building a business with the family is really hard, and I'm pretty sure you all heard like a scary story from families or partner, that friend that went in business and it went wrong. So how did you, with your sister and stepbrother, I think it was
No, brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law, yeah, sorry.
They're married.
Yeah, okay. So
Off the wall. I don't even know how they're married. I'm kidding.
So
actually, they don't sleep in the same bedrooms. They have a condo and they sleep in separate bedrooms. They're whack. Not that I'm not judging them. I love them. They have a very successful marriage. But if I told my wife I was sleeping in a separate bedroom, she would get rid of me real quick. So, not judging anyone that does do it though.
My grandfather do. My grandparents are doing
Listen,
it.
I guess some people snore, fart.
Yeah.
Who knows? Burp, whatever. I don't know.
So as I was saying, how you manage to build a big business like this with your family, all the fight that you get with them, how your parents, when you announce them that you are going in business with your family, how did they react? It must be a big
My
conversation.
parents were nervous. They were nervous because my sister and I are very close as friends and family, obviously. And then, my sister was married to my brother-in-law. They're just married. Your love is more important than your business. At the end of the day, your relationships in life with the people that matter to you are way more important than whatever happens with this. Because at the end of the day, this is technically it's a business. At the end of the day, yes, it will provide a lot of, hopefully financial success and time and resources for my family going forward. But at the end of the day, the relationships you have in life are what really bring joy. It's your present moment. It's everything. So my parents were nervous. They actually spoke to all of us and said, "Is it a good idea? How are you going to protect it? And the truth is you don't know what's going to happen when you join into a partnership. Literally anything can happen. But one thing we did do to make sure that we gave it the best chance at succeeding in terms of protecting our family and also protecting the partnership of building a business was we decided to go see a business coach or a business therapist once a week, or now once every 10 days, to actually have real conversations about hard things and to ensure that we have a safe area to have hard conversations, to criticize each other constructively, to not let our ego get in the way. And what that did, it protected our partnership, again, from both a family relationship, which is super important, and a business partnership. And now we've become so much stronger in both areas of our life. And without this therapist, Dr. James Gavin, we wouldn't be here today. Midday Squares would have closed and we likely wouldn't have been friends or family. They're my best friends. And at the end of the day, if Midday Squares becomes a $1 billion organization, which one day we hopefully will, and we're not friends after that, then it wasn't worth it. Because what is it? Money is a great thing. It does help with a lot of things. Capitalism does do a lot of good. But if you're alone after that, eventually you become sad, depressed, lonely, and then it's not worth it. So we protect the family at all costs alongside protecting the business partnership, because at the end of the day, you don't want that to blow up, because if that blows up, the whole thing collapses.
Yeah, exactly. Our last episode with Graham, he told us why do you want to make money? It's because you want to do whatever you want with the people you want. So if you lose the people on the journey, on the way,
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point, guys? Honestly, what I've realized, I'm 31 years old now. I'm getting fucking old. My joints hurt. No, this year it's about protecting the joints. No, I'm kidding. Collagen, pump the collagen. But sleep collagen.
Sleep.
Yeah, I sound like a fucking old person. No,
all the gray hair. I was kidding.
No. By the way, I have gray hair though. I'm freaking out. No, gray is a sign of wisdom. Salt and pepper.
Exactly.
By the way, salt and pepper is sexy. Women, men, they all love it. No, but what I was telling you
Quote
guys
this,
is,
quote this.
Yeah, quote this. I love it. I love people with salt and pepper. By the way, it's so sexy. One thing I could tell you guys is, the older I get, and I feel like I'm not that old.
You're still young.
Still young.
You're
I look
11.
fucking, I'm gorgeous.
You're,
No, I'm kidding.
You're 13 years older than
I'm
us.
kidding. I'm not weird like that. But one thing I could say, guys, is the more I learn in life, and I'm no expert, I realize that health is wealth.
Yep.
And you have one life, and time does pass very quickly. And next thing you know, you're going to be 31, three of you in this room, and you're going to look back and be like, shit, I remember when I was 18 sitting in Midday Square's office in a Purple Cow interview, and it's going to pass like that. So what I realized is health is wealth. Take care of your health, because without it, nothing really comes. Number 2 is, yes, living your purpose and your why is the most important thing, because it will fulfill you more than capital. It will bring capital into your life as much as you can, but it will give you the feeling of being alive every day, feeling alive, feeling like you have energy, you feeling like you actually are excited. Without that, those 2 things, life is not a fulfillment in my perspective. Now, look, I'm trying to build Midday Squares to have a very big financial outcome one day, but also because I love what I get to do every day. I love that we get to build something special. I love that we get to build a community. I love that we get to inspire a bunch of entrepreneurs to be unapologetically themselves, to show that you don't have to follow a traditional path. So like, there's a benefit to all of it, but you need to be very much, aligned with what you want. And you need to understand that you can't just build this for capital, because if you do, eventually your motivation will run out. During the hard times, they will eventually give out, and you'll be left with nothing. Yeah. So live with why, be healthy. I'm telling you, when you protect your health and you're feeling energized, you just accomplish so much more. It gives you so much. It's such a bigger chance at success than just ignoring it and hustling 24/7 and just brutalizing your health.
Yep.
That's perfect.
You talked about like being yourself and entrepreneurship. Like Xavier predicted your outfit, so
I was like, last night I was like, guys, I put a 5 on the table. He's gonna wear black sunglasses with a hat and a hoodie. And
but I was supposed to wear shorts, so I usually wear shorts in the winter.
I see you dance in the morning,
I know,
7:43. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, my legs don't get cold. To be honest with you, I'm all about shorts in the winter, but I'm wearing pants right now, which is a bit off. But the truth is. Yeah, I think that one thing I've learned in the 11 years of again, trying to build businesses, multiple businesses, failing and having a little bit of success, is the best thing to do is just be yourself unapologetically. Because if you're living your life trying to be like somebody else, you're not going to be your best version. Somebody else is going to do it better than you. No one can copy you. No one can copy you. No one can copy you. They can copy the products. They can eventually figure out how to make a Midday Square, but they can't copy how you make people feel. They can't copy your personality. It's impossible. So what I learned is, go out there every day, be yourself unapologetically, lead with an open heart. So be kind, don't be an asshole. And I promise you that will give you your best chance at winning the game of life, winning the game of business, because again, you are not a commodity. What you create can be a commodity. Most things are commodities, but who you are is not. Yeah. So when you lean into that, whether it's the outfits you wear, whether it's the way you talk, whether it's the business you're trying to build or the speech you're trying to give, lean into your gut, lean into who you are. I promise you, it was the best advice I received early on, and I've lived to that for the last 10 and a half years. And every single time I've leaned into unapologetically myself, it's led to something greater than before.
Yeah, you're doing an awesome job with this. Like, you're the only chocolate company that we are all ready to defend.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
If we have an argument, we gotta support.
Oh, you better support. You better fix merchandise in stores.
Don't worry.
Make sure, tell everybody.
Look.
Tell St. Hyacin about it. You know.
I was trying to get the product to taste it before the interview with you, and I did 3 stores to get the Midday Square because I really wanted to get it.
Where'd you go?
We have a IGA close to our house.
IGA's good.
We even go to Costco because
not
we
yet,
didn't know.
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. So we're and then
So
we remember, it's
Metro,
coming soon, and we found it in Metro. Perfect spot.
We tried the cookie dough, like
Metro Mon Épicerie. Cookie dough's Metro Mon Épicerie. That's their Instagram. I love Metro. They were one of our first national retailers that we got into, but. Cookie dough is one of our best sellers in the U.S.
Yes, they're pretty good.
Canada, it's peanut butter, it's the orange. So it's so interesting to see how different countries eat different things. It's so cool.
And also, we find Midday Square not in the rack with all the chocolate in the side of the counter. We find it in the refrigerated part.
Le frigo.
Yeah, les frigos, exactly. So
C'est froid.
it stood out, and you see the meat, you see all the product, then you see chocolate bar, and like, oh damn, let's try it. So that's awesome marketing.
Well, I think it's two things. So why we chose refrigeration, le frigo, parce qu'on n'a pas de conservateur. We don't have preservatives. So we actually wanted to give people a healthier chocolate bar.
Yeah.
So basically something that's made with real foods, has protein, fiber, good fats, fills you up. So that's why we put it in the fridge, because it had to use the refrigeration as a preservative. Now the second part of it is that you're right, being with everybody else, all the bars, there's 1,000 bars.
Yeah.
You get tired, decision fatigue. So as a consumer, if we put it in a different spot of the store, your brain will be like, oh, why is the chocolate bar in the fridge?
Exactly.
And you'll choose it.
Like be the purple cow.
You know, Seth Godin, right? Seth Godin.
God damn it. Yeah, that's why we call it the purple cow.
Oh, Seth Godin writes
Yeah.
amazing books. But yeah, you're right. Be the purple cow. And it was very hard to do that because, again, you're going against the odds. People aren't used to, from the back end of retailers, like, why would we put this in the fridge? But eventually it leads to a huge outcome. I always say unaveraged decisions equal unaverage outcomes. Average decisions equal average outcomes. So go make unaverage decisions if you want an unaverage outcome.
Exactly.
Putting in the fridge was a different decision. It was not average. It led to something that was great. And again, if you do like everyone else, you will get beaten by somebody else in that game.
Yeah.
Yep, and we saw on the package there's all three of you on the packaging. Like, how would you say like personal branding is impacting like Midday Squares and everything you do? Like, how big is the impact? Like right now we hear on social media personal branding, but how much of an impact does it have on your business?
So I think that we live in a world called the attention economy.
Yep.
Everything is about attention. Everything, people are on their phones scrolling 24/7. They're looking for entertainment. They're looking for relatability. This wasn't the case 15 years ago. 15 years ago, if you were a business, all you had to do was put up billboards, radio ads, TV ads, bus ads, newspaper ads, and you got attention. And then you put it in the store in the big end cap. Today, that doesn't work. Today, consumers choose where they want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
You and I choose who we want to pay attention to. So that means that you as a person, and building a business is harder to get attention because you can't just buy it. You have to earn it. What that means is that if you just tell me, if I told you that this chocolate bar was plant-based, gluten-free, it's got, protein, fiber on social media, you would eventually skip by. You're like, I don't really care about that because you're looking for entertainment. You're looking for value. A personal brand allows you, or a humanization of a company allows you to break through the attention barrier because it's relatable to the heart. It's not about the product features. It's about how can I actually emotionally connect to the consumer. So personal brands allow you to tap into the heart. It allows you to break through the attention barriers. It allows you to connect deeper to the consumer in this attention economy. So if you're going to build a brand today, you don't need to necessarily have the biggest personal brand on social media and all that stuff, but you need to humanize. You need to be able to capture the attention by grabbing the emotionality of the consumer, not the transaction and the commodity and the functions. And what that means is when you go to the store, Metro Mon Épicerie or whatever, you go to IGA, which is Sobeys, we want you to feel as if you're buying from the three of us in our team. We want you to feel like you're buying from a friend, not you're buying a chocolate bar. Because that way you're going to buy more than one. You're going to go tell people about it. You're going to go shout about it because you're part of what we're doing. And the only way to do that is create an emotional connection. And I find that personal brands give you an edge to create that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're always laughing at your stories. Last night we were laughing out loud when you're like, frappe-moi, allez. Because we understand.
Allez, dis-moi comme ça. Woo!
We were laughing, so it was awesome. And I think what you're saying, it's really real. And I think it's, in French, it's called couteau à deux tranches. So in English, a double-edged knife. Like, now you don't have to the personal brand is awesome and it what's make people get attention, but it also you can start for free. Like you took out your cell phone and you film before you have
internet.
Yes, exactly.
It's crazy.
You put whatever you pay, if you have to pay for internet, pay for the internet. You have a phone. Hopefully that is costly, but you get there. The world's your oyster.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if one person sees your stuff. It doesn't matter if 10 or a million. It takes one person to watch what you're doing and change your entire life.
Yep.
One opportunity to get into a retailer. It says, I like this guy. I want to give him a chance.
Exactly.
Share your fucking story every day of your life be yourself unapologetically because that's what makes you different, and get on social media and start making people feel something inside. Because if you do that, no one can copy you. And you're right, it's almost free to do it. And I think that in the life going forward, in the next 10 years, the next decade, marketing is not going to be about what is the features of your product.
No,
It's going to be how you make people feel.
Yep.
Who is the best person at sharing their story? Who is the best person at making people feel something? And most importantly, be transparent, vulnerable, because that is relatable, and that's what builds trust with the consumer.
People connect when they see the real you, If before I was friend with Loic, if he was always like, oh, I'm the big gun, I'm the big thug, I wouldn't be friend. But when I see him struggle and he's talking to me and I'm talking to him, that's what creates friendship. So I think it's exactly what you are trying to do.
Make friends with your consumers.
Exactly.
Think about it. You're not going to go make a friend by selling him or her on your haircut or your the shoes you wear. No, you got to go deeper. You got to get to something that actually means something at a deeper level. Do the same thing with a business. I'm not saying that you have to show your sex life and shit like that on camera. But what I am telling you is let people in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let them get to know you. And some people will hate you, by the way. Some people will never buy your product because they can't stand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's part of the journey.
There's 7+ billion people in the world. You don't need 6.99 billion.
Just one.
You just need one. You need 100. You need 1,000, 10,000, whatever it is. Start sharing your story. I know it's scary for people listening. It is scary to share your story. It is scary to take out a camera, post "Allez frappe-moi, dis-moi," which I love doing because that's authentic to me. Basically, hit me hard. I think in English it means.
Yeah.
But take little steps. You don't have to go crazy dancing naked outside, which I like doing. That took 10 years of getting comfortable. Take little steps every day to share your story and let go of the judgment. There's a book called Mel Robbins. This lady wrote, Mel Robbins, she's a brilliant person. She wrote a book called Let Them, and it's called Let Them or something. And all you gotta do is, if someone makes fun of you, if someone doesn't like let them. Who cares? It's out of your control. As long as you are a good person and you're building something that you think is special and good for the world, then let them. And you'll forget about it because who cares? Midday Squares, we share crazy content.
Yeah.
James there in the other room, legend content creator at Midday Squares, editor, creates amazing content. Some of the stuff is bold as sin, some is crazy, some is wild. Some would say, why would a company share that? We want to. And by the way, some people will hate us for it. That's okay.
But that's exactly how you get my follow on your personal account and Midday Square.
Exactly. And guess what?
When you were in the airport with the fresh cut and you were like doing this and speaking, I was like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, we watch all of your stories. We love it. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Big fans.
That's nice stuff.
You nailed it. You just nailed the word. And I think that every business leader, every person should try to build fans, not customers. And the only way to build fans is to give a good product, which is super important, by the way. But second is make them feel something, make them laugh, make them angry, make them sad, make them feel inspired. When you do that, you're evoking emotions.
You want them to become ambassador.
Yes, because why would someone on their phone say, you know what, hey, I'm gonna stop and watch this person? They only will do that if it matters to them, if it means something. By the way, this is my beautiful wife on the I love her.
You say hello.
Yeah, her name's Melissa. Melissa, if she's listening and she's going to listen to the Purple Cow after, she's very special. Yeah, but we talked about before about business partners, but she's our fourth partner. She's not actually in the business, but she is in the business because without her, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be stable.
She supports you.
Yeah, she's my yin to my yang, and what I mean by that is she's my better half, because at the end of the day, when I went home and I felt sad sometimes, I felt lonely, depressed, angry at how the business, we had a legal battle, we had this, we had that, problem after problem, she uplifted me. She pushed me back up. Or when I was coming back too hot and heavy and confident, she brought me back down. Without that, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I'm no perfect. Trust me, I have a long way to go. But at the end of the day, she makes me better. And I think that finding your person in your life, that's a friend or a partner in your life, sexually or not sexually, whatever, they can make your life a lot better. And I realize that that's something that's really important, and it makes it a little less lonely. And so shout out to her. And when I see I put her as my background because she makes me feel that I could achieve when I'm going through hard times.
Yeah, that's great, man.
I hope she listens to this,
Yeah, we hope too.
No, she does.
So, how would you say the importance of having honest people in your life? So not a yes man and people that actually can tell you your like we say in French, your quatre vérité.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
I did. It's a bilingual podcast.
Yeah,
I think officially.
C'est bilingue. Wouh! Non. Je vais parler français un petit peu. So, c'est vraiment important parce que quand mes partenaires sont des personnes qui sont vraiment en aimant avec moi, on a des conversations vraiment difficiles. We have to have hard conversations because if I'm acting out of line, I want them to bring me back.
Yeah.
I want them to tell me, Jake, c'est pas bon ça. C'est pas toi. It's not authentic to you. You are being somebody else. And even though it's hard to hear, c'est difficile to hear it from them because you love them and they matter to you, it makes you better. And when we built Midday Squares, we built a bubble with people that uplift us, that elevate us, that make us better people, even if it's tough to hear.
Yeah.
Even if we don't want to hear it, if I want to get so mad when you say it. And I think that that's one of the most important things when you're building a business. Surround yourself with people that want you to win, but are honest with you, because at the end of the day, without people around you, without a great fucking team and a great supporters, great people that are honest, you have no chance. So I would say that even if it's following someone on social media, I always tell people, find people that inspire you, that make you a better person, that give you advice, but that also understand you. And for me, I have a guy that I have a call with literally right after this. His name is Mike Fata. You guys, we said
He's
Mike
gonna get
before.
on the podcast.
Yeah,
Soon.
Mike is an absolute legend, and he's been a huge inspiration to me and Midday Squares, and we have tough conversations. He'll tell us what sometimes we don't want to hear, but it's for the best. And it's just an ego thing if you can't take it. You got to check yourself and work on yourself.
Yeah, I love the vibe in the office. Like we saw everybody got their goals there, the wall with all the words.
This was
I
the
think
best.
it was Nick. He came in full hype. He hype up everybody.
Yeah,
So
good to see you, man.
there's a vibe, you can feel it. And what you say, I think is really good. For my part, my father is the one. He always tell me, I'm there to give you the job. So when you're like, oh, we land a good invite on the podcast. Yeah, but when you need props, but he's there too. So I think what you say is just what everybody need and should looking for if they don't have it yet.
Yeah, you need to just build a community around you of really good people that want you to win and want the best for you.
Talking about props, you've been recognized by the Forbes Under 30 magazine. So can you talk to us a bit about that? How
Tell
was
us
the
a damn
experience?
crazy story of the after party.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of Forbes. I've always wanted to be part of the Forbes 30. It was just a dream, and when it happened, it was surreal because I led the entire category, so I was on the front of that, and it was really fun. But it wasn't. At first, I thought it was about the award, but then I realized it's a huge community of great people, and some people shit on it because I don't know why they would. They're spotlighting people, and you want to live in a world where you spotlight people that are trying to do things, whether the biggest or the smallest. They're still trying, and they're making moves. And to me, that's what Forbes is. They shine a light on people that are trying to do really cool things, and I was grateful. It was a dream come true, and it was really fun. The party was insane. The whole energy was great, but. To me, it was more when I said I was 18 or 19 years old, I said I was going to be on the cover. I was going to be part of the Forbes 30, and it happened. So what I would take away from the whole thing is you can manifesting things. You could actually achieve whatever you truly want to achieve in life. Whatever you believe is that you want to achieve, you can get it done. You want to land on the moon one day, you'll get it done if you just put yourself forward. It might take a really long time and really, really hard, but it will happen. And the Forbes thing did happen. That's what the monumental thing was. It wasn't about the award itself. It was about that I said something 11 years ago or 10 years before that, then it happened. And that applies to everything in life, that really does.
Yep. And would you say like you're satisfied when you hit big goals like that? Were you satisfied, or are you always like, I want more? Like, what's your relationship with that balance?
I had a dangerous relationship prior, to working on this year after, which all I wanted was more. I wanted the next award. I wanted the next hit of dopamine.
Yeah.
And it's a very dangerous game because you start to do things that aren't necessarily for who you, or they're not necessarily authentic to you. And after the Forbes, I got a lot of press. I was on the TVs as CBC. I think it was, I was on at RDI. I was on all the, I can't remember. It was all these things every day. It was like a new thing, global news. And it was so cool. And I was like, what, can I chase the next big thing? I want the next thing. Then eventually you realize like, you're doing all this crazy shit, but maybe it's not who you are.
Yeah.
And I burnt out because I was so addicted to that I did everything in my power to keep getting more feelings and more. And then eventually it hit a wall and it was like, you can't do it. So what I learned is, instead of going and chasing after the reward or the end goal, enjoy the moment in the present that it's happening. Meaning, your work that you do every day, for example, this conversation here, we're here together. Enjoy today, right now.
Yeah.
We're having fun. Live for that. Eventually, your podcast will get a lot bigger. Don't worry about that. Worry about right now. And enjoy that. Trust the process, as some of the athletes say. It really makes a difference because it will all pass very quickly and you'll forget that you even enjoyed it. You just always looked for the end. And then when you got it, it didn't really feel what you're supposed to feel. And I read a quote. I wrote it down. I was reading a blog article this weekend, actually, which is not, I didn't write this down for the sake of this podcast, but it says this. It talks about dopamine. And yeah, it talks about this, like that. It talks about dopamine. So it reads like this. Dopamine is like that friend who always convinces you to stay out for one more drink, but you never really have as much fun as you think you will once you get home. What that means is, dopamine is always like, oh, I could go for more. I can go for more.
Yeah.
But then once you go, you're like, why?
I wish I was home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I think that humans need to figure out, including myself, is how do we create real dopamine? Real dopamine is the work that you're putting in. It's the effort. It's the work, it's going to the gym. It's actually like lifting that weight, not the way you look after. It's actually the motion of what you're doing. It's the effort. Calling a friend, getting on the phone and calling. Putting in the effort instead of going through social media and scrolling and looking at something, feeling good for 1 second and then feeling bad about yourself, because there's too much cheap dopamine, junk food, porn, all this shit is we have access to it 24/7. So I don't know that when you ask about the more and more, I wanted more and more. Now I've worked on just liking and appreciating the moment and whatever happens.
Yep. And how was it like coming back from the burnout and going back to work and like getting momentum again?
Dude, guys, burnout is no joke. You're gonna go through it.
Did you like stop completely working at Midday Square? And tell us more about it if you want.
Yeah, burnout is. I never believed in it prior to getting it. I always thought, it's something that only happens to very few people, and because I was on the chasing dopamine and trying to be the front and all the time and scared of losing it all, I created so much pressure and anxiety in my body, and eventually my body gave out. I burnt out. I got an injury in my back playing hockey, so I was physically couldn't do things, which was really devastating because I'm a very fun. I like to do a lot of things physically, sports, working out, dancing, all the crazy shit that I like doing. So that was come to an end, and then mentally I felt very depressed, and that combined into what a burnout is, and I felt no motivation. I felt no energy. I felt unmotivated. I felt like I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about Midday Squares. I didn't care about the people around me. I just wanted to sleep. I didn't care about anything else. I wanted to stay in bed for days. And it lasted 40 days straight where I took off work. And I had to just figure out myself. My body was in fight or flight. I literally had pain everywhere. I was miserable. The business was doing very well, but I didn't care because nothing mattered.
Yeah.
Nothing mattered to me. I was mean to people around me that I loved because I was so angry with myself. And then I went to a ton of therapy and I did hypnosis. I did a ton of things, like a ton of wellness stuff. And it took me almost 6 months of just like all this stuff, 6 to 7 months to get back to like actually like living. I was working after the 40 days, but I wasn't myself. And I realized after that burnout is so serious that it could last one day, it could last an hour, it could last 10 years. And you don't know what will happen because it's a chemical reaction, right, in your brain, because there's an effect that happens in your body and your mind. So be very careful of the signs that show you that your body needs rest. It needs to recharge. It needs to find itself. I always say when you're going off track, veer back, weave back in so that you're back on track, whether that's your why, following your fulfillment, your purpose, finding that again, because that's what my thing was. I was completely off track. Or if it's physically letting your body recharge itself. Sleep, like we talked about, eating well, movement. Like, we think that we're unstoppable. We're not machines. Our body is, it's beautiful. It's an amazing thing. It could do amazing things. But at the end of the day, like a Tesla, it needs to be plugged back in. So plug your Tesla in as soon as you feel the signs, even if it means taking a week off during the hectic time. Your business won't go anywhere. Your life won't go anywhere. When you burn out, you risk it all falling apart. So that's my advice about burnout and what I experienced.
Now, are you proud of yourself and what you accomplished?
I'm extremely proud. Tonight my partners and I are going to celebrate a dinner, about a big milestone, which you'll find out about it later this week. But we worked 3 years on it, and usually we wouldn't take the celebration. We just keep going, hustle, hustle, hustle. But we're gonna go just enjoy our, all of us. We're gonna enjoy together. My wife, my business partners, my mom's coming too because she helps us work a lot. But just enjoy the moment and appreciate it, and just feel it in the present. Not worry about what's next. Yeah. And I think that we've come a long way with that, and I'm proud of that. And I think that, yes, am I proud of Midday Squares? Yeah, we sold close to 50 million chocolate bars, and I never believed that we even sell $1 million. Awesome. I never thought in my life that we'd sell, 1,000 chocolate bars. So, yeah, and I'm proud that we built an amazing team of 55 people here in Montreal. 55. They're amazing. Yeah, we built our own factory that we're sitting in the other, obviously it's in the back room, that makes 100,000 bars per day, that we were making 50 per day when we started in our condo kitchen. So yeah, I am proud, but there's a lot of work to still be done. And instead of being proud about the milestones, I'm more proud about what we get to do every day, the hardships, the adversity, and the actual journey itself. I think, as cheesy as it sounds.
Did you give yourself like a break each month or anything?
So now we do. So now we actually every quarter we take a week off. But also, like, if I'm feeling tired, I'm not going to push myself. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to go work out all day. I'm going to go eat lunch with a friend. I'm not going to feel bad about it. I used to judge myself. Like, if I'm not working 24/7, I'm a failure. That's a very unhealthy way of life. That's a very unhealthy lifestyle, and you've got to change that, right? So, I'm a whole new person, and I believe in taking care of yourself, and it's critical.
Yeah, that's good. And what is next for Midday Square?
So we put a 3-year game plan forward, dominate the U.S., really win big there, really win some efficiencies on the manufacturing, expand our facility and our capacities, and just continue to, we call it the road to 100 million, get there.
So now you're at like
30 or so million, maybe more, maybe less, depending on this retailer. Sorry, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
we grow 50%.
Yearly or since the beginning?
Yearly.
That's awesome.
We grow 50.
That's awesome.
We grow 50% year over year.
Wow. 50%?
Yeah, which is the goal.
Wow, that's
nice.
Awesome.
And it's after the 1 million, is it like done deal?
After the 100 million, we'll create our next step. I think the beauty of it is that we put a goal forward, and everything we do is based on that, and we'll see where that goes. But for the next 3 years, that's our focus, and when we'll reconvene as a team. The world will be very different. The Midday Squares will be very different because that size, that's 3 times the size that we currently are. So. Who knows? Maybe we IPO the company. Maybe we sell the company. Maybe we acquire.
If you IPO, I'm all in.
You're in. I love it, boys. I love it.
And did you go to school in Montreal?
I went to school in Toronto. Western University.
Yeah, but in like high school.
I went school here.
And did your sister or brother come here? Why did you choose Montreal to the base of the Midday Square?
Montreal is the coolest city, one of the coolest cities in the world. Quebec is one of the most unique places in the world. And what I mean by that is we have a culture of French and English, which allows for a very unique serendipity. And there's nothing like doing something for your hometown and building something special to build the ecosystem, to support the city, to support the people here, and bring back dollars into this place. So, you look at Drake. Drake built, had a really big effect on Toronto. You look at Hershey's, had a very big effect on Hershey, Pennsylvania. You look at Nike with Oregon. They built a huge thing. Why can't somebody do that in Montreal? And we want Midday Squares to be like that for Montreal. You obviously have Saputo, and you have some great brands, Molson and from Quebec and Couche-Tard and all these stuff that are legendary. But we want to be a global chocolate empire that is from here, made here, and built with the people from here.
That's nice.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, and I forgot my question.
But how much time we got left?
We got like 10 minutes.
10 minutes more.
10 minutes. 12?
12.
All right, perfect. So to conclude,
Yeah.
we asked this question a lot. We talked about like your businesses, your family, like stuff and everything around it. So would you say you made it?
No, I absolutely not. Great question.
Well, if let's say if you die tomorrow, would
So okay, so I have not made it, but if I die tomorrow, I believe I've lived.
you live it?
I've lived my life. I continue to live my life in a way where I believe I'm making impact, and I'm on the fulfillment path for myself. Meaning, I think I'm living my purpose. That being said, I have work to do every day to continue to find my whys, to continue to make the impact I want to make on the world. And again, Midday Scores is a chapter of that. It doesn't mean that's my full life, right? Like, what's next? I don't know. Maybe I'll be a politician here in Canada and help build a
I hope you become a pro dancer.
Yeah, pro dancers. It could be something very cool too. But you're right. I think life's it's a work in progress. But as long as you are working towards progress, you are living your life.
Yeah.
Well, I just got back my question. What would you say to your younger Jake and to a young entrepreneur who's starting the business journey? An advice, yeah. Like, if
Never lose the kid inside of you.
yeah, the kid inside.
What I mean by that is like never lose the child, the fun, the immaturity in a playful way, because life works in a unique way where it pushes you into this like narrow square of like no risk, no fun, no wildness, no individuality. It's a herd, and it's easy to get caught in that. It's easy to get caught in the bureaucracy. It's easy to get caught in the taking no risk method. But if you stay like a child, you're having fun. You're living your life in a playful way. Kids are very adventurous. They're curious. They're not poisoned with all the negativity of what the world has to offer a lot of the time. But the truth is the world is a beautiful place if you choose to make it a beautiful place. But it's very easy to get caught in the game of being serious, taking no risks, living a life that's what society puts you to do. So I would say to myself, be the kid, stay the kid, have fun. And I think that pays the most reward in life ever, the biggest ROI.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for coming, man. It was
Appreciate you guys.
awesome.
Let's
You
fucking
really-
go, guys. LFG, go win.
Yeah.
Frappe-moi, dis-moi. I gotta take a shit, I think. Take care.
Take it.